Right now, somewhere on Earth, someone is using US dollars. A tourist in Japan, a businessman in Brazil, a company in Germany, or a government buying oil in the Middle East. And here's the strange part. Most of these people don't even live in America. Yet somehow, the US dollar became the world's money. How did one country's currency become so powerful? Why do central banks keep billions of dollars in reserve? Why are oil, gold, and international trade often priced in dollars? And what would happen if the dollar suddenly lost its power? Because the story of the US dollar isn't just the story of money. It's the story of power, war, politics, and the global economy itself. Because every dollar has a history.
Before the dollar ruled the world. Believe it or not, the US dollar wasn't always king. For hundreds of years, the world's most important currency was the British pound. Back then, Britain controlled a huge empire. Its ships sailed across the globe, its banks financed international trade, and London became the financial center of the world. If countries wanted to trade internationally, they often used British pounds. The pound was trusted, it was stable, and Britain was incredibly powerful. But history has a habit of changing everything. Then came World War I, and later, World War II. Europe was devastated, cities were destroyed, governments were drowning in debt. Meanwhile, the United States looked very different. Its factories were booming, its economy was growing, and most importantly, America held something the rest of the world desperately needed: gold. Lots and lots of gold. By the end of World War II, the United States possessed nearly 2/3 of the world's gold reserves. And that changed everything.
The meeting that changed money forever. In July of 1944, while World War II was still raging, leaders from 44 countries gathered in a small hotel in New Hampshire. Their mission was simple: build a new financial system, one that could prevent another economic disaster. The result became known as the Bretton Woods Agreement. Under this new system, most currencies would be tied to the US dollar, and the US dollar itself would be tied to gold. 1 ounce of gold would equal $35. For the first time in history, the dollar became the center of the global financial system. Countries trusted it. Banks trusted it. Businesses trusted it. Because every dollar could, in theory, be exchanged for real gold. The dollar had become as good as gold. The problem with success. The system worked, perhaps too well. The world needed dollars, lots of dollars. Countries used them for trade. Companies used them for business. Banks used them as reserves. America started sending dollars all around the world. But there was a problem. The more dollars America created, the harder it became to back them with gold. Soon, there were more dollars than gold, and some countries began to worry. They started asking a dangerous question. What if the United States didn't have enough gold? Then one country decided to find out. France. The French government began exchanging its dollars for American gold. Other countries started doing the same. America's gold reserves began shrinking. The system was starting to crack. And then, everything changed. The Nixon Shock. August 15th, 1971. President Richard Nixon appeared on television. and made one of the most important announcements in financial history. The United States would no longer exchange dollars for gold. Just like that, the link between the dollar and gold was broken. The world was shocked. Many people believed the dollar would collapse. After all, why should anyone trust a piece of paper that couldn't be exchanged for gold? But something unexpected happened. The dollar survived. In fact, it became even stronger. Why? Because the world had already built its economy around the dollar. Trade still used dollars. Banks still held dollars. Governments still trusted dollars. The dollar no longer needed gold. It had something else. Trust.
Oil changed everything. Then another event made the dollar even more powerful. Oil, the world's most important resource. In the 1970s, the United States reached agreements with major oil-producing countries. Oil would be sold in U.S. dollars. This created something economists call the Petrodollar system. Now, every country needed dollars. If Japan wanted oil, it needed dollars. If Brazil wanted oil, it needed dollars. If Germany wanted oil, it needed dollars. Suddenly, the entire world needed America's currency, and demand for dollars exploded. Why countries still love dollars. Today, the U.S. dollar is everywhere. Many central banks keep huge reserves of dollars. Many international loans use dollars. Many commodities are priced in dollars. Even in countries with unstable currencies, people often save their money in U.S. dollars. Why? Because the dollar is trusted. America has the world's largest economy. Its financial markets are enormous. Its government bonds are considered among the safest investments on earth. And because so many people already use dollars, everyone else continues using them too. It's a giant cycle of trust. And that trust gives the dollar incredible power. Could the dollar lose its power? But nothing lasts forever. Throughout history, every great currency eventually lost its dominance. The Roman currency, the Spanish silver dollar, the British pound. Could the same thing happen to the U.S. dollar? Some experts believe it could. Countries like China are trying to reduce their dependence on the dollar. Some nations are trading in other currencies. Digital currencies and cryptocurrencies are creating new possibilities. But replacing the dollar would be incredibly difficult because the world has spent decades building its financial system around it. Changing that system would take time. Maybe a very long time.
Conclusion. The U.S. dollar is powerful, not because it's made from special paper, not because it's backed by gold, and not because America says so. It's powerful because billions of people trust it. Governments trust it. Businesses trust it. Banks trust it. And as long as that trust remains, the dollar remains powerful. Because in the end, money has always been about one thing: trust. And perhaps the world's most powerful currency is really the world's most trusted promise, because every dollar has a history.